It's a team effort. It's always like this, I call it the three-legged stool, the clients, the contractor, and us. We try to work together as a team sort of from the get-go to make the most awesome product we can. And everybody who comes to us is usually interested in this sort of thing. They're here because they want a house like this, which makes our lives easier, and everyone's on the same page. And I like to say that, our job sites are fun. Not 100% of the time, because construction is stressful and money's stressful, but we want our job sites to be fun. And when everyone's on the same team, the same page, and has a high level of trust, that happens.
I would say general philosophy on life is we really like nature, gardening, landscape, native species, and recycling, reusing, reducing, and things like that. So we were already living as green as one can in America. So when we had decided to buy this place and realizing that we were going to probably build from scratch or at least fix the house up, we wanted to find an architect and a builder that was also green.
We're going to have quite a number of solar panels on the roofs and a battery backup storage system, which will enable the house to run independently if there's a power outage in the local grid. We are using 12-inch thick double stud walls and a 16-inch roof assembly with an over roof on top of that. So quite efficient. There's a lot of unique things about this house. I'd say the biggest unique element is the curved curtain wall system. So the great majority of the south-facing walls in the house are curtain walls. So they're self-supporting, full height, floor-to-ceiling walls with glass, and they're in a very kind of random curved shape. So it took a lot of engineering and a lot of work to get everything to fit right. The inclusion of an indoor lap pool is a unique feature. We're treating the natatorium, or the pool room, as basically a separate building. So it is air sealed and conditioned and insulated to be completely separate from the house, even though you can walk right into it from the basement.
Did our own searches, looking for a place that had lots of acreage, which is what we wanted, and a water feature. And we saw each other later that evening, and we both said we found a place, and it happened to be the same exact place.
Really, what sets the way we build apart from other contractors is that we look at it under the rigors of science. How can we make the house more resilient so it will last longer? How can we make the house more comfortable? How can we make the house healthier? How can we make the house use as little energy as possible? Now, how do we reduce the amount of embodied energy that we're putting into the building?
So when we met the architects, we appreciated them because they were green building, knew how to build a passive house. So it started with passive house, which means a lot about energy efficiency, insulation, and making sure you don't lose heat coming in or going out of the house. And then the other part of it was getting to net zero so that we could then run our appliances and everything and not have to use the grid if we didn't have to.
As architects, we think about houses that are practical, beautiful, and well-loved. Because if you love a house, you'll take care of it better. And if you have a natural association with nature outside, you'll be aware of what your house is going through. You'll be aware of the weather, of shading, and all that kind of thing. You'll love a house better, it'll last longer.
So today you've been in two houses, both very contemporary. And I think it's important to note that on one hand, a high-performance home looks like any other home, and on the other hand, it's different in many respects. We primarily use triple-pane windows from Europe, and they're called tilt-and-turn windows. They're currently in their venting position, their tilting position, but they also turn inward like a door. Our double-stud walls, which help us achieve that really tight thermal envelope. They give us really deep windowsills, which is an interesting design feature. They help make our houses really quiet, both from the outside, keeping outside noises out, and preventing our heat pumps from cycling off and on, like Elizabeth was saying. It's quiet, it's just all around quiet.
Site is one of the most initial and important parts of schematic design. We put a lot of emphasis on the house itself, but really where it sits on the site is equally important. We want to consider if there are views or vista. We also want to plan for when we break ground. We want to think about where the construction vehicles will go and make sure that it's an efficient and good building site.
One thing that I know for sure, working in this industry for 35 years and only in the sustainable industry for 20 plus years, is that if you have contractors who are interested in building this way, they are sincere and earnest people. And as are we, the architects. It takes a special breed to build with this sort of care. So we're building something that's really meant to last and do something good for the earth. And when you get that group of people together, you save, weirdly, a lot of money because you're building this amazing product that's going to last a really long time with a ton of care.